So I hope that you enjoyed the social event. Good. I really like the coal part, you know, with all the machines and but that's my personal taste. I remember, I don't know how many of you were there, but I remember when we visited this old train in ESUG, where we have all this old German train into a place, and I could make, there was a big, huge machine that was maybe the size of that building to crawl, it was, wow. And I could take totally crazy picture of that. You remember where it was? Cotton, yes, yes, it was at Cotton. I really like that. You know, with this machine, they were red and green and yellow, and wow, I still have super cool picture from that. So I like all these machines, like what we we saw on the boat. It was fun. Because after for the resort, okay, that's a resort, okay, with a lot of people, okay. But that was nice. So I guess that we will start. So welcome to this last day. So I decided to do this this video because often people ask us, oh yes, but Pharo, is it only used by academics and things like that? So I really want to have a video that we can use to show a bit what companies are doing with Pharo. So you will see this is a bit a catalog, but this is really to show that there are actually real companies doing a real job in Pharo. So this is our sponsors. So before starting that, I would like to remind you our goal, because we don't do Pharo just for fun, even if this is fun. We want that. And in fact, if I would quote and change the quote of Alan Kay, I would say to reinvent our future, you know, because that's really what we are doing. So we are doing a lot of work in the background so that we could have a different model or different modules or compilation or things like that. So what can we have as an infrastructure so that we can, I don't know, for example, I would like to be able to execute something else in Pharo or those kinds of things. We don't know, but, and especially faster ways to do things, you know, alternate ways. I really like Seaside from that perspective, because Seaside was completely the web framework for the heretics, and in fact it took completely the opposite direction than the normal PHP at that time, and that was really interesting. So how can we support different runtime, do optimization and things like that? So that's our hidden goal. And to achieve that, this is super important for us, that company can make money with Pharo, and that there is innovation, business, and things like that. So one of the goals of the consortium, this is really to make sure that this can happen. And that's a really clear point. It means that you can make money using Pharo. And the consortium is there to support the evolution, but it is also here to help companies doing things. So this is just to remind you the why at the end, why we decided to fork from Squeak, because that was the key reason. So now some stories. You will see this is a catalog. I spent some time to put little flags. So Telna, for example. So Telna, this is, so sometimes I don't know the business. So you will see I will repeat some words and I don't really understand them. But no, I got a lecture, but I could not really understand what it was about. But what they told me is that Telna, for example, this is when you arrive at the airport and you open your phone, and then the system should decide, you were from this country and now you are in this country, so you will be charged that way and things like that. So they have a full stack for doing that in Pharo. they told me at some point that the fishermen in Iceland that were from Philippines would call home via a Pharo system on the boat. Because often the system, they are proprietary. So what you see is that you have all the stack is open source except their business. And that's normal because this is you should be really be into it to really understand. This is based on this task, and this was a picture where the guy was showing how he was disassembling some protocol. So another one. So at some point in Moscow, when you were going with your on the street with your ATM, this was a Pharo app. So this is a morphic UI. So before we could not say it, and then now they retire it. So in Asia, there was this old stalker, or there is this old stalker. This is the largest online market for a big machine. So you know, if you want a Caterpillar, who knows? You go, you bid, and if you bid well, you will be able to get that Caterpillar for doing something you have fun with. Huh? So, and they raised some money at that time. So something fun that nobody knows is that in France, I didn't know in fact, there are companies that are checking the network quality. So, and then they monitor the network quality and all the, so on the screen, everything is in Pharo except on the iPhone. So, and this is the software that is running in the telecommunication, in the racks. You have a Pharo system inside, and then they wanted an update. So they came to see us, and then we said yes, we are a consortium. You can trust us. And Philip Bach did this software for them 10 years ago, and then he told me, oh yes, they wanted an upgrade. So this is cool. So some years ago, you could also deploy, I don't remember if you remember that, but that was interesting. This was this, you could deploy a Pharo web app in 3 minutes. It was hosted in Russia. It was a kind of a cloud for Pharo. In Switzerland, that was this is a CMS with a full history where you could navigate back in the, so it has maybe 15 years now, but this was a seaside application. In Belgium, the company where that Johan was doing, this is a distributed resource management, and Koen also was working there. So complex system where multiple people can edit schedules at the same time and synchronize with all kinds of things. If I know well, they were managing a university in some places, so quite complex things. Another one in Belgium, and now I know that Sven stopped his company, but it was a car fleet management monitoring system. So Pharo is not on the screen, this is on the server. So Sven was using Pharo headless for all the server communication. And he told me that on his server, he had up to 240 days uptime. So this is nice, having 8 months without crashing, that was nice. In Switzerland, this was a small app for printing visit card and things like that. This one from the US, Cuve, this was an investment portfolio. What you see on the screen is that it has been developed by Mariano, by the way. All the reports are generated from Magritte. So everything that you see on the screen was just description and combination of description and boom, generated. And I was like, wow. EBSLog, this is that was the website, the web application developed by Esteban. This was the first meta shop in South America, where in 10 minutes you could deploy a new shop to sell the socks that your mother knit, you know. So in case. And when I met Esteban, he told me, "Oh yes, I developed that in 5 months." And I was like, doing the first version of Voyage and extending Magritte with meta description so that it could be done. On something completely different, now I'm not sure that this is still available, but there was this Dr. Geo, where kids could learn geometry and maths, and it was running at that time on the $100 laptops. So we all know Roasal, but it was developed by a company. Alex has a company in Chile during 10 years. In Belgium, there was this project to manage risk. This was a seaside application. Somewhere I get the video that they put on YouTube. And they were making a seaside component to have something more interesting than just Excel spreadsheets. In Spain, I saw that they have this application tracking system for competition or for CV or I don't know what, in fact. In Spain, this guy did a full point of sales. It was fun because he explained to me, yes, you know, you can buy your cigarette and take a coffee. And it was really, or it is really working. So it was like, wow, I was super impressed. Finworks, I don't know what they are doing. Probably in South Africa, money business. So Lifeware, so you got Lifeware people here. Just some facts, they have 30 million lines of code of Pharo, around 100 dev, and when they run the test on the 40 core Amazon and things like that. This story is quite interesting because this is the first bank in Czech Republic. And once a guy contacted me, Thomas. He contacted me and told me, oh, you know, Steph, I did this application. And so, in fact, he told me, oh, I developed this application in 2.5 months. This is for the business client so that they get push of information, how to invest and things like that. So his boss was the innovation marketing or innovation group in the bank. He told me, oh, you know, it was super successful. We sold it to our Belgian banks, or because they have a partner with Belgium, with I don't know which banks. What was super nice is that he is allowed to say that, because it was not clear that they could say that they are using Pharo. And after he told me, you know, in fact, my boss, before letting me doing in Pharo, contacted the Java team, and they estimated 2 years from the same project. They contacted the Java, the C#, and this was an estimation of 1.5 years. And then, you know, I told him, okay, let's imagine that these Java people, they are smart. They said, okay, we will make a lot of money on top of you, so we multiply by 2. So imagine that 2 years was they were just cheating, and this is in fact 1 year. But 1 year, this is still 4 times lower. Huh? That we should realize. The funny thing is that Thomas told me, when he drove me back to the airport, oh, you know, it was my first Pharo program. I always wanted to develop something in small talk. So, and then that's a smart guy. That's the point. Huh? He's far from idiot. Huh? He told me, oh yes, you know, I use Seaside and I use Magritte, and you see what you see on the screen. There is only one that I generated by hand. All the rest has been automatically generated. And I was like, aha, yes. And now I contacted him because he asked some strange question on Discord, and I said, Thomas, what are you doing? Why do you want to control the garbage collector to kill object after? And I said, you know, the consortium is here. If you want something special, maybe we can help you. Huh? And he told me, oh no, I cannot tell you. I work on this is 2 years. I work on a super big project. And that's the only thing that, and everything is going super well. That's the only thing that I can say. I said, oh, okay. We are here in case we can help. It's super important that you get success. So this was a startup in Mexico for managing creative people. That was the company that we developed. During 5 years, we were doing software analysis and things like that. We developed tools. Once there was this company, Romax, that sent me a mail and said, yes, we have a Pharo inside. And I suspect that this is for the picture in the middle, because maybe this is something, an interface, because we are not yet inside the rotor or the motors. This one is fun. This is a UK company. They got several Pharo applications, but this one is super nice because Post ID, this is a software that in Switzerland is used to scan the letters. So they scan the letters with a pistol, and then like that they get the address. And what you see on the screen, that this is the program. In fact, they did a data flow model on top of Pharo, and when they draw a line between one of the boxes, this means that the data will flow. They will do a treatment like extract, scan, ORC, put the file on the server and things like that. So what Gary Chamber told me is that he told me, oh, you know, this is easy when we do an application. We draw that with the client. When they are happy, after we just put a big morph in front with big buttons, and this is the application. And I said, oh, wow, so lovely. So it was fun. So you have something that is less sexy on that graphical part. This is what John Brandt, the guy that developed, coded the first refactoring engine in the world. So John, the business of John, this is to support migration of software. So for that, he has a SMAC, and he extended Pharo tools so that he has a special debugger for managing, oh, how do I parse JavaScript? And the bug that he has, they are not in Pharo, they are in the grammar. So how do you debug your grammar when you do migration? And that's his job. So at Berger-Levrault, what Benoit did, and this is an application to migrate JWT. In fact, at Berger-Levrault, they got the largest JWT application in the world, except that Google stopped JWT some years ago. So they evaluated the migration around 36 man-years. So Benoit worked, that was a part of his PhD, and he showed that they can have 60% gain applying the tools on their migration. And internally, Berger-Levrault is also using Mousse. Maybe you saw the presentation of Nicolas on migrating from this platform onto that platform, and the management was really happy because they got 3.5 man-year gain. So we have active grid, and I mentioned it well for the first time. So this is not adaptive, this is active grid. So the idea, this is how can we digitalize our small data things instead of passing around Excel spreadsheets. How you can capture the data and share it with people inside the system. So 2 years ago, you saw the presentation of Thales people. What is really interesting there is that what you should imagine is that the Thales sales, before they were paying a designer 2 weeks for designing a PowerPoint presentation before going to see their clients. That was the deal, you know. And then this means that you throw it away after, huh? Because. So what they did this system, this isometric simulation system that is in a block, where a cell can design the map in ASCII art. With like that, he can say, yeah, this is the road, this is the Thales, this is managing this part, and your company is managing this part, and there is a communication with the little truck and things like that. So what you see on the screen, this is ASCII art. And then this is a simulation system that takes into account the contract and said, oh, you have this contract. So this contract has this kind of feature which I don't understand at all. And in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, pay attention, because this contract, you will have this decay model that will show you that you are not covered in 5 years, huh? if you should only take this contract. This was running on a tablet, on a Windows tablet for the sales. They were super happy. Now, when you discuss with the people of Thales, they tell you, oh yes, we developed this application. It took us 3 months of paper design, because this is UX, and 1 month in Pharo. And I was like, what? You did all that stuff in 1 month, 3 people? They told me, yeah, yes. And then after they say, oh yeah, but after we have to change a bit. So this is 2 months, 3 people. And I was like, wow, 3 months, 3 people to do that? This is what we are talking when we are talking productivity. Huh? So, and I was like, wow. So, and all the management were happy and things like that. So that's cool. And now, this year, they just told me that last week, and this is what they showed during the presentation, is that they deployed 3 what they call demonstrator. And this is always because Thales, this is to prototype things for aircraft or submarines, and now they do everything in Pharo. So that's why they were super excited, because they told me, okay, now we can deploy faster for Le Bourget. So this is this airborne show where the gun industry or the army is showing to the people, okay, this is what you can do with our system and things like that. Apparently, they were all excited and super happy. So the boss were there, and they were dressed with ties, and that was perfect. So we are super happy that they are happy, and that's cool. So, for example, something else, the Boeing museum has been revamped as a seaside app for some years, and I don't know, there was a new boss, so it changed. So I don't know exactly if this is still there, but when you are buying your ticket, this is a seaside app. This is what Nouri is doing with this. This is an environment so that you can teach people how to program machines. And for that, they use a special language, and then like that, they can script the language and see what is happening on the screen. So there was this Dutch company that was doing, so I don't know what is paper trail for sea rangers, but I guess that this is a management system for people that should go on the sea to save people. Yeah, good. Oh, I got a bug because I reapplied. So Fank, this is a company in Switzerland that is, I took the website. We modernized legacy system. So in the US, Lifelay, so I have no idea what is it. You know how I know that? Because sometimes people post, we are looking for a developer in Pharo. I said, oh, who are you? And I went to the website. That's like that I try to find information. And they told me, and I contacted the guy, and they told me, yes, we run 1 million revenue on top of Pharo. I said, okay, you could be part of the consortium if you want, but help yourself. And this is another one, Alliance. This is also of the same kind of, with the job offer, I could find that. So there was this air map viewer from Japan. So what I understood, this is a software system for chemical people so that they can understand the energy between the molecule inside the system. You have different waves like that, so like that they can understand the molecules, and I don't know more than that. I found that also on Zweidenker, so there was this geolocalized app in Germany. So apparently at that time, when you were renting a Citroën in Germany, this was a Pharo application behind. So, and then this geolocalized application was like, okay, if you drop your car here, you will have a coupon in this cafe. Like that, you have a reduction if you want to drink a cafe in this shop. That was the idea. And I said, oh, that's fun. So another one from Germany, so Speisenfurch. This is an application for tax cost refund and things like that. Your travel expenses and things like that. Developed by Sabine. In Argentina, Mercap. That's a large banking system. Really lot of client-side computation with all the things when you want to invest. This is the people that are doing the Willow layer on top of Seaside. That is really the client-side encapsulation for all the JavaScript crap and things like that. So quite nice. It's an old application, but it is managing thousands of cases for lawyers in Argentina. So Esteban told me, oh, I developed that in a month, so that's okay. And they use that during 15 years without bugs. So, and they're happy, so that's perfect. The look is a bit old, but and I said, okay, perfect then. In Czech Republic, probably developed by you originally, yes, and this is still available. This is day work, so this is a student job company pairing. So like that, when a company has a job, they go to this platform and the student, they can see the jobs and things like that. This one, I think that it was a prototype because it was cancelled, but you know that has nothing to do with technology. This was a system to follow the retail in the city so that they can understand, oh yes, we should bring foods there and things like that in the little shops. Reflex Vacances, you know, it was an application in France when you were getting your, I want to go here on holidays, a Pharo app. So, you see, maybe there are some others, like I forgot to put, but I don't know exactly what you are doing on the food system, so I was like, maybe I don't say something wrong, so I prefer not to say. So there are some other people that are doing things. You know, for me, this is the one that I collected over the year, and that's why I really wanted to do this presentation, because people don't know all that stuff, and often companies talk to me, and like that I collected everything. So what we can think of, what is the catch? I think that Pharo is, and Smalltalk in general, are super productive environment. I would say they are low entry barrier when you know it, from that perspective. No, but that's true. You know, if you take a guy from university, okay, so what? But you can have a good support for modeling complex business. And what Philippe Bach told me, because when Philippe arrived in the community, he told me, oh yes, I like that because I control the full stack. The full stack. And he was a C++ developer, and he said, yes, I like that because, you know, I can control everything if I want. So, and I said, oh yes, that's interesting from a business perspective. So if you have success, I would really like to have your success on yes, Stefan, yes, if you can do a screenshot and send it to me, we can do a news. You see, this is important that we put news on the Pharo website with success stories. And you see, that's the way I learn things. I go to show us your project, and by accident, I said, oh, that's a super nice Pharo application. So please send me information. And that's it for my talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
If you have one question, I don't know if I can answer, I can tell you.
You always said it was an application. So, but is it really past, or do you know which of the ones are really still currently applications?
I don't know. You know, most of them are still application. After, what is super important to realize is that this is not because you develop something cool in Pharo that we guarantee business success. So our responsibility, you know, it brings the question to what is a success for us? A success, this is not that people that don't understand anything buy your product. This is that you are able to build a product. So for us, this is really important. Do we have the right stack? What is missing in the ecosystem so that you can build something that makes you potentially successful?
Just a comment. It's here. So Marcus yesterday showed quickly an active grid use to collect information about companies using. So I don't know if you mentioned it already in the beginning because I was late, but this is something to spread again.
Yes, and from that perspective, I would really like to see if we can use it to manage the registration of ESUG next year, because I start to be fed up with the old application that we manage. Or don't manage, in fact. The next speaker.
Okay, thank you, Steph.